All right, thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll start taking questions for Coach Sumlin. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Yes, Jason Shear,
Hey, guys.
Wildcat Authority.
Hey, Coach. I guess, now that you've gotten a closer look at the guys kind of a week through or so, what are your overall thoughts about where they're at right now?
Well, I thought, we got to watch the video from tonight. We went 90 plays tonight. That's without special teams. So we had 90 plays. We kicked field goals. I thought Lucas was good. He made, I think, a 57 and a 53 tonight. So, and then all the extra points and things like that. So we worked a little bit, not just open field, but special teams with and Kyle Orsendorf hit some great punts. So that's encouraging from a kicking game standpoint. We got some guys that are returning that have to get better, and they're showing that. The other snaps we got just about everybody in. I think we've got some depth. I've got to wait and watch the tape, but I thought our guys competed and weren't not a whole lot of penalties. I think we had one offsides on offense and one penalty on defense in 90 plays, which that's the first thing you got to do to win games, and then eliminate some of those things and substitution situations that maybe we had early in the week. We didn't have that. We worked headsets today with our coaching staff, got new coaches and things like that. So it was really a complete operational scrimmage. So from my standpoint, operationally, things went well. I got to watch the tape and look at some of the other things just from a fine-tuning standpoint.
Next question will go Michael Lev, Arizona Daily Star.
Good evening, Coach.
Good evening.
Josh McCauley told us last week that he had a knee issue. I was hoping you could give an update on his status, and then also who are the next guys up at that position if Josh is unavailable?
Well, we're keeping things the way they are. Josh does have a knee issue. We know Josh can play, right? And so, it's given us an opportunity to really leave everybody as is, move some of the guys that one guy in there that can play and a freshman. So we're going to leave our line the way it is. Keep not moving guys around all over the place with Jordan is at left tackle and Donovan Lay at left guard right now. They're communicating very, very well. Conjal and Peyton Fears on the right side. And then we're doing now is finding a backup center right now. So leaving those guys there. The depth chart is where it is. It's what it is. But I thought those guys operated pretty well.
Who among the freshmen and or newcomers have impressed you the most over this first week?
Well, I think, we've got some newcomers. Obviously, our two grad transfers in the defensive line, Blackwell and Roy have come with a work mentality. They should. They're older guys. They're really strong. They've played football. They're tough. I think they bring an attitude to our whole defensive line. So those guys, even though they're not freshmen, they're 23 years old, 24 years old, right? They played football, so they should be that, and they're doing exactly what we wanted them to do to be that guy. I think Pandy's taking a leadership role at the second level, is doing a really, really nice job. Offensively, just like I said, we've got linemen that have played a lot last year. It's a blessing and a curse, right? We have 10 different lineups and 11 different weeks, right? So, but those guys have all played. We're leaving them in the same spot and developing a backup center, just because we know what Josh can do. So we're good there. I think maybe one of the big things is the young running backs. I think tonight it was evident. I think Wiley has gained weight. He's over 200 pounds now. So he's running with substance. We all know he can catch. We all know he can do. I think he's done a nice job, has improved. And the two young running backs, Frank Brown, and Jalen Johns. I mean, Jalen is making yards. He's really heavy-handed. I think he just makes yards and is explosive at point of contact. So the two young running backs, I think, have really, in the first week, have really kind of shown that they're why we recruited them, why they're here. They want to play, and that gives us a pretty good situation because Tilford, all he does is make yards, right? We all know that, and he's having a nice camp. He's doing well. We all know what Gary's got. So running back wise, I think we're going to be fine there with our depth. And what we got to do now is look to the perimeter for our receiving core to kind of step that up. Stacey Marshall's had a good camp to help us in the running game. We're going to work a little bit more with a couple tight end sets, 2 tight end sets next week because of what he's done. And then on the perimeter, I think, from the young guys who've come in, I think Dylan has had a nice camp too. So, those guys are all pushing the play. We'll know more. Our plan this week, we'll come back. We won't practice tomorrow. We'll watch this video. And then Monday, we'll get some more installation in. Tuesday, we're in full pads. Wednesday, we'll be in full pads again with a red zone, tight zone scrimmage so we can see some physicality out of these guys. And then another big scrimmage next Saturday night. And then we'll know who we are with 2 weeks to go to get ready for game preparation.
Next question will go back to Jason Shearer.
Coach Mazzoni had mentioned that he wanted to give the quarterbacks about a week behind Grant to kind of see how that would shake out. What do you think that those guys have been able to do?
Yeah, I mean, they all got a shot tonight. They've all been getting shots all week. Like I said, we've got a whole nother week to shake that whole thing out, right? So they're all getting reps. Rhett, KD, Will, they're all getting in there. And Grant's been we're rotating guys in, some with the ones too. So I've been pleased with their progress so far. And it's good, healthy competition. So we'll let that play out for at least another week.
We have time for one more question for Coach. We'll go back to Michael Lev.
You had mentioned the backup center. Is that Stephen Bailey, the one getting the first shot?
Yeah,
okay.
You bet.
On a different subject, I wanted to ask you about a couple second-year linebackers, Darian Clark and Quabana Watson. What have you seen out of those two guys?
I think Darian is he's a good football player. I mean, we've seen that as when he was a freshman on special teams, right? He made a bunch of plays on kickoff cover. Obviously, we trust him when you put a guy on a punt team for punt protection. So he's been in big games. He's made decisions on the run, and it shows right now, right? So, he's a guy that has got to be more consistent, and that's has kept him off the field completely all the time. But with age and experience, you see that coming, and he's seeing things a lot better. He's right. He's going to be right in the mix. He's going to play a lot. Who else you asked me about? Quabana. Quabana's got talent. He's outside. He's more of a natural pass rusher. He was undersized when he got here, in the 190s and whatnot. But the guy only lost 2 wrestling matches in the history as a high school guy. So what kind of hands he's got. What kind of flexibility. What kind of bend he has, and he shows that. He's bigger now. He's just got to understand what he's doing in space. If we just tell him, go sick him, he's good, right? We move and somebody moves around and we spread out the sets. He gets out there in space. He looks, he's a little lost because that's not what he did in high school. So, but there's definitely room for him as a pass rusher and because he's got tools and he's getting better. He's got great 1-2. He's got good ability. We got to get him in the right place because, like I said, he's an excellent pass rusher. It's when we have to play in space and do some different things that create problems for him because of his size at the line of scrimmage to get off of these big old tackles, 330 pounds. So, but Coach Rhodes and Coach Boo are doing a great job moving him around, getting him in space, trying to get him comfortable in that area where he can cover at least zone drop some and then rush the passer also, and then get him on some edges where he can be effective instead of just head up on a big old tackle.
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll
All
be
right.
back in 1 minute with Christian Roland Wallace.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll now start taking questions for Christian Roland Wallace. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Yes, Justin Spears, Arizona Daily Star.
Christian, take us through the time when you were being recruited, and it pretty much came down to USC or Arizona towards the end, right before you signed.
Arizona, it was a place that I knew I wanted to come. You know, I felt like it would be perfect for me to focus. You know, and I knew I was going to have an opportunity here at Arizona. You know, and the coaching staff, they did a tremendous job. You know, and recruited. But I knew Arizona was a place I wanted to be.
And talk about your relationship and how it's evolved with Greg Burns from the time he first recruited you when he was at Oregon State.
Yeah, well, yeah, you said it. He recruited me at Oregon State. He was actually my first Pac-12 offer that I had. So it was good, you know, having another coach, you know, that I've already known come in, you know. So, and I'm excited to work with him.
Next question will go Michael Lev, Arizona Daily Star.
Hey there, Christian. How would you assess your freshman season?
Ups and downs, you know, but I could just learn from, you know, take those as lessons, you know, and just take on what's next.
If you were to cite one or two lessons that you take out of that season, what would those be?
Just situational football, you know, and this is something that Coach Rhodes and Coach Sumlin teaches, you know. So.
You know, we were talking to Jordan Morgan the other night about, you know, making his college debut in the Hawaii game and how loud it was, and he was kind of nervous and stuff. What do you remember about, you know, when you first got thrown out there? How would you describe what the atmosphere was like and how you were feeling?
It was definitely, you know, a different experience from high school, but the coaches, you know, they had me out there for a reason, you know, and I have a job to do.
How would you describe your style of play?
Physical, you know, and a playmaker.
Next question will go Jason Shear, Wildcat Authority.
Hey, Christian, a lot of times when people talk about this football team, one of the things they bring up is the defense, and maybe, you know, the average person doesn't think the defense is going to be very good based on last season and stuff like that. Do you guys listen to that? I guess what would you say it is maybe to cause a belief that, hey, you know what, this defense is going to be better than maybe it's been the past few years?
We don't really pay attention to the outside noise, but we always keep our head we always have a positive mindset, you know, and we're working to be better than we were before. So.
And then also, was there like a moment last season? I kind of asked freshmen this. Was there like a holy crap moment where you kind of realize, all right, you know, these guys are a little bit different than what I faced in high school?
Yeah, you know, but I came early, you know, and I got to experience that in spring and fall, you know, and the coaches had me out there for a reason. It was ready. It was time to go during that time.
Next question will go back to Michael Lev.
Christian, you mentioned your relationship with Coach Burns starting at Oregon State. I guess he was the USC defensive backs coach when they were going after you. What was your reaction when you found out that Arizona was going to be hiring him?
Actually, I was excited. Rose is also as well. Coach Rose and Coach Burns. I was excited. You know, I'm ready to take on what's next. You know, I'm excited.
Coach Rhodes said the other day that he's going to try to keep it simple. You guys didn't have a normal spring practice. It's a new defense. It's not a normal training camp either. How much stuff are they throwing at you as far as different defensive schemes and stuff?
They're giving us what we need to go into our first game, which is Utah, and I feel like they're doing a great job of doing that, and Coach Rhodes, he preaches. We just take everything, step by step, day by day.
We've heard from Grant Gunnell himself and others about some improvements to his game, arm strength, maybe confidence. What have you seen from Grant Gunnell, going across from him where maybe he's made a jump from last year?
Grant, he's a natural born leader. I have faith in him. I have faith in the offense, Coach Mazzoni. And I feel like they can do some big things on offense.
Next question, we'll go back to Justin Spears.
Which veteran took you under their wing when you first got here?
I'll say Scotty Young and Jace Whitaker, but they're no longer here.
What did you take away from those guys in your 1 year here?
Just everything, on and off the field. I try to ask a lot of questions, to the older guys, because I was a new booty coming in, and I feel like they did a great job helping me on and off the field. If I need anything, I can call them or whatnot.
And I know this is a really broad question, but what would you say has been the most challenging part about this year and this season for you?
This year, obviously the COVID, it slowed a lot of things down. So during that time, when they shut things down, regardless, I had faith and I kind of knew that we were going to have a season. So kind of just working towards, having a season, even though it didn't seem like we were, but yeah.
All right, I have time for one more question. We'll go back to Michael Lev.
You talked about the ups and downs of your freshman year and lessons that you've learned. What did you try to work on in the off season? Where do you feel like you've improved the most?
Just getting more in the playbook, knowing what's coming on, knowing what's coming at me, and just go out there, play with confidence and some swagger.
What about technique-wise? Is there any specific things that you have worked on or that Coach Burns emphasizes?
Just technique. I have a few personal goals I want to work on as well. So.
Can you name a freshman on both sides of the ball who stood out to you so far, one on offense and one on defense?
I feel like as a team, defensively and offensively, we're doing a great job, as a whole. Coach Mazzoni, our OC, and Coach Rhodes, our DC, they're doing a great job, and all of the players, we're doing a great job.
All right, thank you, everybody. That's all we have for tonight. We'll be back Monday after practice.